Have you ever considered how men imagine matriarchy or any social dynamic where women as a group are in charge? Don't tussle with me. I'm just talking about my take on the subject matter, matriarchy, and how they are presented. So let me narrow the focus down to TV and movies during the 70s and 80s, because that's when I was a child, living in front of the TV, my first babysitter. I grew up watching old stuff from the 50s and 60s and new stuff at the time from the 70s and 80s. 90% of what I know about people comes from what I've seen on the screen and not necessarily what they intended to show me. My obsession with matriarchy started with Wonder Woman. Not that boring movie with Kathy Lee Crosby, although her outfit makes way more sense for fighting crime. I'm talking, of course, about the TV show in 1975 starring Linda Carter. Now, it wasn't the whole TV show that got me, because even at age 6, I thought that it was crazy for a woman to be fighting in a strapless bathing suit, which I just found out was a bustier, like a strapless corset with boning. And Linda had to run in that thing. This was in the era of tube tops, and I'd already seen enough real life wardrobe malfunctions to question the intelligence of moving around in that outfit. But Wonder Woman, like every example that I'm about to bring up, was created by men, and it shows. I watched Wonder Woman primarily for the Paradise Island episodes. For most of my childhood, I got bullied by boys and browbeaten to keep away from men. So in my private world and happy place, boys and men just didn't exist. So this is what I had to work with. In both pilot episodes for seasons 1 and 2, Linda Carter is seen running down the beach and through this thicket of high flowers wearing the same lavender shorty nightgown. Yeah, I know if I wanted to take a jog through some flowers or along the beach, I would pick the flimsiest thing I own. It gets better. In the tournament, the background Amazons compete in even shorter shorty nightgowns. In fact, all the women on Paradise Island are wearing bed sheets and flimsy little veils. The doctors and scientists are swaddled up like Roman empresses. The Amazons were a race of warriors. Yet whenever a man writes the script, women are always bouncing around in little slips of fabric. No weapons, no armor, no high-tech security force, and the only gun you see is for the bullets and bracelets contest. Every woman you see is supermodel thin. With all that running and jumping and powerlifting, nobody grows a muscle. Yet everybody's hair is perfectly coiffed like they just stepped out of a shampoo commercial. Because that's what men want to see on the screen, then and now. Because the patriarchy still exists. And even in the 70s, at the height of the women's liberation movement, who cares what real women and impressionable girls want to see? You should be grateful that we have a woman on her own show, looking good while she's fighting crime. The mayonnated patriarchy loves to tell us how grateful we should be to have what little representation that they toss in our direction, like crumbs. What they really want to say? We don't even want you to have that. But I digress. Moving on. Season 1, episodes 4 and 5, The Feminine Mystique. Introducing Wonder Girl, Wonder Woman's idiot younger sister who spills her guts about the best kept secrets of Paradise Island the very first time she's interrogated. Latitude, longitude, here's where you can find us. So because of her stupidity, Paradise Island is now under siege. Armed Nazi soldiers, all male of course, pull up in boats, armed to the teeth. And how do the Amazons protect themselves and their home? No weapons, no armor, not even hand-to-hand combat. Just a handful of Barbie dolls in nightgowns, flinging them into the water while giggling. We just want to be friends. Picture 6-year-old me trying to work my way through that message. 50 years later, that message that Hollywood loves to send women and girls hasn't gotten much better. At least now we know why their agenda has always been to keep their women thin, giggly, witless, submissive, and young. And by the way, no, it did not escape my notice even then that none of these Amazons were darker than a peach crayon. Even though in the comics, Wonder Woman had a black twin sister named Nubia, Wonder Woman's super foe. The character was never on the show, and the doll was never sold in stores. You know how I know? Because my mother was very pro-black when it came to my dolls, and she would have jumped to buy me this one. Why create a whole commercial with a doll that you have no intention whatsoever of selling? Ask the mayonnaised patriarchy. They're the ones who did it. This is how 1975 America answered the question, what does it look like when women are left to themselves? Remember, this is women's lib America. And this is why they don't even bother to this day with the premise, what would our country look like if black women were in control and left to themselves? That's all right. I'm old enough now to bother with that premise. In response to this patriarchal Bubba-misis, I've written a contemporary novel about a closed society led by black women warriors. It's called Hard Pressed, and you can buy it right now. Bring it to this upcoming event, and I'll sign it for you. Buckle up, class. I'm just getting started.